Hey everyone, welcome back to another iiRcade Gamedaze Live. I'm your host Michael, producer here at iiRcade. Today is our day to talk about games and everything like that, of course. Go over all the different stuff from Tuesday as well too. We'll cover all that, even more things to come. Happy Friday, of course, too. For those of you joining me, let's see, what did we miss on Tuesday? Let's do a little recap here, right? So, title announcements, of course. We got more title games coming down the line. So, Arabian Magic was announced, which is one of my favorites. The New Zealand Story, the Ninja Kids. On top of that, we got The Legend of Kage. Yeah, it is Kage. It's not Cage, by the way. And Thunder Fox, right? So, and yes, I will fight you on Kage and Cage. It's Kage. That's the official naming. So on top of that, remember to just a reminder, the sale is ending soon. So the Labor Day sale ends on Labor Day, which makes sense. The back to school sale ends on Labor Day. So those of you looking to pick up an iiRcade for $100 off with free shipping on top of that too, it's still happening right now. You've only got a couple days left too. So if your friends are looking to pick one up, gifts for the holidays, things like that too, pick them up now while they're still on sale, or you still got it. And then yeah, once it's gone, it's gone. I don't know when the next sale is. I can't tell you. So there's nothing planned though. That's as far as I know. Let's see. Other housekeeping actually too. So I think it was Shoeshine who asked last week, but a lot of you ask pretty often what kind of shooters have turbo mode in it or like auto firing essentially, right? So luckily enough here, I've got this fantastic list for you that the lovely Alec and QA was able to put together for you guys. So these are all the games currently on the store that have turbo mode in it. I call it turbo. If you guys want to call it auto fire, that's fine too. So basically all that means is that you can hold down the A button to shoot and fire. You don't have to spam it nonstop. So those of you who are like arthritic like me, you can just be at ease, hold the A button down, keep on firing. So here's your list. We'll actually post this on the social media feeds here, but there's 17 games total that we counted so far that have been released that are on the system on the store today. These are them. So Aces Luftwaffe, Batsu Gun, Captain Tamade, Psy Battler, Desert War, sorry about that, Dog Yoon, Earth Defense Force, Exerion, Fire Shark, Rhinestormer, P-47, Phantom Fighter, P-47 Aces, which came out today, plus Alpha, Ragnarok Skies, of course, or Rangok Skies, wow, I always do that, Saint Dragon, Voltric, and Vapor Trail. So those are the 17 games that are on the store currently as far as shooters go that have auto fire or turbo in them. So that's your list for you. Let me get back over here so you can see my ugly mug. But yeah, so I know you guys ask that all the time too. So we will post that too on social media feeds. We'll post it in the community group, and of course, places like that too. So be sure to check there if you are looking for those kind of games, those specific shooters or shmups that have the auto fire in it, basically too. All right, so of course it's game days. So let's get to the games, right? So we released 2 games today. On top of that, all the title games, of course, that are coming out soon from Tuesday. But the games released today were one, Bang Bang Busters. So Bang Bang Busters is one of the new Visco Pixar titles that we actually announced last week. So there you go. This game is available for you. Let me pull it up full screen for you. 1 second. There we go. Perfect. This will work, actually. There we go. So Bang Bang Busters is going to be a lot like Snow Bros if you guys have played that game before, which is also currently available, Snow Bros 1 and 2. So basically the main goal is, on top of that, let me pick my character here. Your main goal is to be going up to enemies, just like it's showing you right now. You got to press A to lift them, and then you throw them. So you can throw them into walls, you can throw them into enemies, you can throw them into little like helicopter or propeller things as well too, that kind of jettison them up. There's different patterns that you can take. There you go. You can swing them around, let them go. Very important skills. We'll actually go past this a little bit too. So simple enough game with a lot of complexity at the same time. You've only got 2 buttons, which is great. So here you go, a little intro story for you, of course. My favorite part of the game sometimes. All right, so we'll go past this a little bit, actually. Here we go. That's right, Dylan. This is the Evil Santa game, as you guys will see in stage 2. Well, stage 1, 2, I should say. So you can jump, and then you'll basically be firing this little thing, which is what's going to blow things up, right? So angry, grumpy penguin right there. There we go. So I caught him. So now all I got to do is throw. Boom, bam. So all you're going to do is be picking up all the veggies and all the other goodies that fall along the ground too. Sometimes it's desserts, sometimes it's vegetables, sometimes it's plenty of other things. So of course, this is just the first level, so it gets pretty easy right now. Make sure I get my coins in time before the stage ends. There we go. So this is what I was talking about with those propellers. Of course, there's your angry Santa up there. I'm not sure what he's so angry about. So if you push these into the propellers, actually, I'm going to blow them up right there. There's also bombs, of course. I'm going to keep running with this bomb. All right, that should take care of angry Santa. Yep. Perfect. So this is a two-player game as well. So in case you're looking to play with your buddies, play with your family, play with your kids, this is a great game for that, especially with angry Santa. Here you go. There we go. I'm trying to get into the helicopter. So there's a ton of bosses in this game as well too. It's not just enemies all the time. All right. So let's actually move on to the next game. I'll let someone play in the background a little bit. Welcome back. So that's, of course, Bang Bang Busters. So, or if you want to call it Bang Square Busters, I guess, if you want, because that's kind of how it's written. But yes, so Bang Bang Busters, fantastic new title, available today on the iiRcade. Now, let's move on to our second title of the day, of course, too. The long-awaited P-47 Aces, which of course is the sequel to P-47 Phantom Fighter, if you guys already have that, which is also out on the store right now. And again, these are both shmups, both shooters that come with that auto fire enabled. So all you have to do is hold down the A button and it will auto fire automatically for you. So if that's what you're looking for, perfect kind of game for you. On top of that, this game has a really aggressive soundtrack is a good way to put it. It's very upbeat. It's very light and fun. It's a super, super bright and colorful game as well too. So let's get to that. All right. So again, too, one last thing for P-47 Aces, of course. Global leaderboards are included. I know it's kind of hard to see with my green screen right now too. But here, let me pull this up for you. There you go. So we do have 2 people already on there, which is great. Of course, Corrupt Neuron's on there. I love it. You're eating up all the shooters, all of them, just taking over the leaderboards. I see how it is. All right, let's full screen this and launch you. So again, pretty simple, only 2 buttons, which is great too. Classic style arcade game. It's got a great little intro story, which I'm gonna pass, unfortunately. But if you pick up the game, you can watch it yourself. You've got 4 different characters to choose from, and you can play with the different ships too, right? So you got the Thunderbolt, the Black Widow, the Swordfish, as well as the Spitfire. Let's go with Swordfish because I like the Swordfish. They do all have different attacks. Of course, here's your intro story. I 100% forgot to unmute for the last one. My apologies. Should get some sound in there now. All right. So right out the gate, I did not realize that this is the most OP vehicle in the game, it looks like. This is ridiculously powerful. So of course, your A is going to be your fire button, you're dropping bombs at the same time. And then B is going to be your bomb. It's going to clear pretty much everything on screen. What's kind of also a cool feature about P-47 Aces is that if you, let me try to run into an enemy. The enemies actually have collision boxes on them, which is kind of cool too. So they'll kind of push you around if you try to fly through them. If you see, I can kind of bounce off that tank right there. It's kind of an interesting way to play the game though too, is just bouncing off of enemies while dodging bullets. It adds like kind of a weird level of just intricacy to things. See more of the first boss, but this is it. One last thing I wanted to cover with games like these two, of course, global leaderboards. Let me pick my play again. You can see there my score didn't go down, right? So I can do just infinite coins, infinite lives on this one too. So for those of you looking to compete on the global leaderboards, basically, the way that you actually compete is going to be to pick up as much stuff as possible, to destroy as many enemies as possible, bomb as much stuff as possible, pick up as many power-ups as possible. All of that's going to add to your score. So that's really where the complexity comes in with competition level, basically. So let me actually switch on back over here. How's it going? I'll actually pull this one back down. So that's P47 Aces stuff. And again, that is available today on the iiRcade. So next thing, so again, covering the leaderboards a little bit too, because we get asked this a lot too, how the leaderboards work, right? So for global leaderboards specifically, every game is different, right? We don't really control, we don't go in the back end and change these old school arcade games especially. So with the arcade ROMs, the difference is that some games like P47 Aces say, or Gunbird even too, they don't drop the score when you die, right? So you can have, with infinite coins, it becomes a little bit different, right? It's not like a game where if you die, your score goes back to 0. You got to keep pushing back up too, right? So 1 quarter doesn't really matter too much. But the thing is that every single thing that you do in the game is going to affect your score. So if you kill all the enemies, if you pick up everything, you're going to have the highest score on leaderboards. I guarantee it. So that's really where the challenge comes in. And when games like this, especially shooters, when you need to be dodging everything all the time, it does get pretty complicated if you're trying to get the highest score, of course, that's possible, because you still got to dodge everything all at the same time that you got to pick up everything, right? So you're going left and right, up and down. So that's really where the competitive aspect comes in as far as these games that have infinite quarters and continue with the score. So other games, of course, that drop the score instantly, that's where the high score aspect comes in, right? Just don't die. So that's more of a 1 quarter continue kind of thing. So that's pretty much it for global leaderboards for P47 Aces, of course. And if you haven't tried it too, P47 Phantom Fighter is also on iiRcade right now, which is the predecessor to P47 Aces. Let me go back over here. Change my overlay back. There we go. So let's go into some Q&A. So what kind of questions do you have today? Please make it not, is this game coming soon? Let's see. Gunboard leaderboard issue. Mike, I saw your comment today. I'm looking into it for you. This one, sorry about that right there. We're looking into it. Yep, your score should be posting. I'm not really sure what occurred there. So with a lot of people posting all the time on the boards, a lot of things going on in the back end with the servers for not just Gunbird, but other games too. It's one server, right? It's one giant server house. So things happen, issues happen in software, but we're looking into it. I see, at least, thank you for sending me a picture of your score. I appreciate it, because at least I have proof then that you scored a certain amount of points, right? 1.49 million, I believe, is what it was. But yes, looking into it for sure. Let me see here. All right, questions. Let's go. Shows how you use / turn on a track mode. So I'm not quite sure what you mean here, Trimcare, from New Jersey, I believe. I hope that's what that is. So for attract mode, every game has its own specific attract mode, if it has an attract mode, right? Which pretty much all games on the system currently do. Even a lot of the modern games that we have, developers are great, and we ask them to put in attract modes, and they do it a lot of times, right? So games like Rangak Skies or Jetpin, there's a ton of them basically, right? These all have attract modes. Those games, you just have to wait. You just sit idle in the menu, and then after about 10 to 20 seconds, if that even sometimes, the attract mode will play. It'll keep playing on repeat. That's how these are built. So it's called attract mode to attract you towards the machine in an arcade, right? That's what we call it that. So you see bright and flashy colors, you see story mode, you see cool looking characters, awesome sounds going on. Some of them are silent, but that's it. There's no system level attract mode right now, if that's what you're asking about. That's a feature that we've heard is requested, so stay tuned on that. But yes, there's no system level attract mode, so any attract mode you want to watch is going to be specific to the game itself. Dragon's Lair and Space Ace are probably the best attract modes, just saying. Rangak Skies has a really killer soundtrack, so Rangak Skies also has a fantastic attract mode, not just because I made it. But yes, all right, what other questions do we have right now before I jump into other things? Let's see. Oh my gosh, okay, there's a lot to go through here. Neither one of those games is a spooky adventure. I Disagree on that actually too. If you play P47 Aces, it's kind of a spooky adventure game. Let's see here. Shoeshine, thanks so much for the auto fire list. Of course, yeah, you asked for it, I gave it to you. That's what I'm here for, right? I totally feel you. I understand your plight with pressing the button and spamming it nonstop for like 20 plus minutes at a time. I get it. And yes, again, we will post that list. I can show later on today too, but we'll post that list all over social media, especially in the community group. So if you're not in the Facebook community group, iiRcade community, that's what you're looking for on Facebook. We post a lot of stuff there. I'm sure we'll post it to other channels too, but that's mainly where it's going to be pinned up at. So you can check that out anytime. So if you want to pick up any of those titles and check them out, it's going to be there for you. Let's see. More questions. Put like a bunch of asterisks and a question mark or something so I can see your questions. If not, it's kind of hard to scroll through. There's a lot of things going on here. Pang Adventures, Dylan. Yes, Pang Adventures is still being worked on. Some games have some complications on the way too. It was on the list. It's promised. It's coming. Don't you worry about that one. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, there's lots. Am I aware of a different spaceship? Where is... Okay. Yes. Bronsky Bronsky. Yes, different spaceship in jukebox mode. I am aware of it. The reason it released with that is because we didn't have a lot of time to fix the model that fast. So that was kind of a placeholder model that got sent out on the first wave, and then it got updated and fixed out of the game, right? So yes, the Star Wars looking ship is out. The new just intergalactic ship is in. And that could also change. Maybe we'll change that model too. Maybe it'll be an arcade machine floating at one point, right? Just an iiRcade just kind of zooming across. Who knows? Again, Jukebox is in beta mode, so if you haven't picked it up, it's free. It's a totally free. It's on the store right now, so you can pick it up. It's in the featured section as well as the recently added section at the moment until it kind of cycles through. But it'll be in the featured section for sure. Totally free. It's going to keep getting updated too. Remember, it's still in beta. I can't tell you how long beta is going to last. We've got a lot of projects going on too, but of course we're continuously working on it too. At a base level though, it seems like you guys are having a lot of fun with it. So I'm watching all your posts. Whoever's playing guitar and stuff the other day with it, fantastic. I love it. Let me see. Most of these questions must be on YouTube. You're correct, Mark. A lot of them are coming up on YouTube right now. River City Ransom? I mean, again, I can't tell you what games that I can't talk about yet, right? Again, we're always looking for new titles, new licenses, things like that too. I can't announce all of them right now too. Zhang will mostly be announcing those on Tuesday. So definitely tune in to the Tuesdays live if you want those kind of questions answered a lot more. Hockey, bowling, golf. Of course, I want more modern games too, Gordon. Yes, of course. Any actual questions not related to can I get this game right now? Let's see. It's Moose. Stay tuned on that one too, buddy. We're trying. Licensing just takes a lot. So just because we've licensed a game doesn't necessarily mean that it's available immediately, even if it runs or not. It could be running immaculately, but with licensing, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. We got to get things checked, of course. Especially at these bigger companies like Taito, they like to have their IP protected, which makes sense. It's their art form, it's their work. They just want to be protected. They want to make sure everything looks good. It runs the way they want it to. So that's how that works. So that's kind of usually what the holdup is for the most part. It could be changes in the game as well too. But yes, I can't tell you an exact date, but coming I would say very soon. That's pretty much where I can leave that one at. Let's see. Zhang flying through space. Yes, I would love to see a Zhang flying through space background for Jukebox. All right, I'll take a couple more questions before we move on to the next topic. Let me see here. This is an interesting question, actually. Devon. Oh my gosh, I need you to PM me if it's Devon or Devon because this is gonna be like the immortal debate in my head right now. Question: any ideas for badges on the leaderboards as we get more people involved? Kickstarter founder, any way to awards. So Huh. No plans currently. I can tell you that if you can't tell by the sort of shocked look on my face. No plans currently, but not a bad idea overall, of course. So things like competitions, especially on an arcade platform, right? Like we like to see that kind of stuff too. So if we can encourage that more by doing really simple things, especially too, like just adding even like icons and stuff like that too, icons, trophies and stuff. Perfect. Why not? Right. So those are kind of bonus features right now too. So they're coming down the line as we look into more and more stuff. But there's still a couple major fixes that we're still working on the systems. I saw somebody mentioning audio adjustments and stuff like that too. So yes, there's sort of bigger overarching issues that we have to fix first, and then we can get to that kind of stuff too. But definitely things like like maybe achievements and things like that, right, would be really cool to see on a console system like this. Totally possible, totally things that we're thinking about, just sort of on the back burner right now. All right, I'll take two more questions before I move on. Let's see. Hey, Brian, my boy, let's go. What is the most unexpected hit on the system? Both the one you liked more than you thought and one that everybody was surprised at. So there's a few sleeper hits, right? Things that did really, really well that I sort of didn't expect. Let me think. Actually, I mean, Oddmar is kind of an interesting one. So Oddmar's kind of a low-key sleeper hit, I would say, too. And we released it. It's one of the first games we released, too. So you haven't checked out Oddmar. If you're new here, Oddmar, fantastic game. I guarantee anybody's going to suggest that game to you because it's phenomenal. It's a platformer where you play as a little Viking. It's a cute, colorful, crazy mushroom game. But yeah, Oddmar has done crazy well, which is amazing, and I love it. Not that it's surprising because it is a really good game. It's just surprising because nobody really knew it. So it's kind of really cool to see those kind of games just take off, right? On top of that, like Riptide is another one too, but like I knew Riptide was going to do well on the system, of course. And then something that really, really surprised me. I don't know. There's really not a lot of surprises, honestly, because you can kind of gauge things pretty well before release. It's sort of how we time things, right? So, but yeah, and stay tuned for a lot more sleeper hits too. Of course, like when I dropped Jetpin on you guys, I didn't realize how well that would do too. I knew it was going to do great, but I didn't realize it was going to be like fantastic. So that's a fun one. All right, one more question here. Let me see. More game-related questions. Here's one actually too. So no, the answer is no on this one, Nathan. So as far as that goes, Apple basically doesn't let you download and things like that, download and purchase kind of on your own storefront when it's on the Apple store. Basically, that's how that works. So not a huge deal though, right? You can just do it on your computer. You can still use your phone and use it as a web browser. If you want to bookmark it, you can make a little icon even on your iPhone if you're using an iPhone. So that's always an option for you if you'd like to do it that way instead of always typing in the site. But yeah, so there's other ways around it. But I mean, it is more of a browser-based store. Even the Android app, it doesn't look too much different than the browser-based store. It just it's slightly different, but not really different at all. You're not missing any features, I can tell you that. They're the same one-to-one. So yeah, so unfortunately, no. I know it's sort of ease of access and stuff like that too, to have it just as an app. But again, you can just bookmark the website on your phone, and then it just looks like an app and launches directly to the website every time. There's plenty of people who can help you out with that too, posting in the community and stuff all the time. But yes, so that's sort of the deal with that one. And yeah, just because I love Slurpee so much. Yeah, sleeper hit of the century, Slurpee. Pick it up now. Rank 204. It's up and coming. It's up and coming. Slurpee is where it's at. You don't even know. ColecoVision. All right. So next thing to go over for sure, we're going to talk about leaderboards, sort of, and how they work, right? So if you guys have more questions on leaderboards, feel free to ask as well too. I know there's sort of a newer feature as well too. Remember that we're going to continue to add games to, like I said, today, one of them came out, P47 Aces, with leaderboards already intact, which is great. So yeah, so we'll keep releasing them. We'll keep coming out with them. The posting issue we're looking into, Mike, for sure for Gunbird. So some games react a little bit differently, right? Every game's a little different. So we're sort of looking into that. There's definitely some issues, smaller issues usually. A lot of times it'll just take some time to post. That's kind of the thing too with servers and stuff. Sometimes they just kind of lag behind, especially when things are constantly kind of getting sent to them. They sort of have to process a lot of things going in, a lot of information. But yep. So games you might have missed. Of course, my favorite section ever. So let me go to my first games you might have missed game, which is Wind Up Night 2. So I do apologize because I think my videos are playing a little bit slower today, but this on for you in the background. There we go, perfect. So this is this way. Great. So this is Wind Up Night 2, right? So yeah, the video's lagging a little bit. Sorry, it definitely plays a lot better on the system itself. Unfortunately, it's just choppy in my video right now too. It doesn't like to stream things at the same time as me right now. It's having a rough time. Yeah, it's a little sleepy today. So Wind Up Night 2 is a fantastic game. So what's cool is that it's sort of like an endless runner, but not. So your character is constantly running, so you can never stop your character from running. All you can do is jump, you can roll, and then on top of that, there's other abilities that you get to. You get different costumes, different outfits. That trail that you see behind him too, that's sort of like a blue streak right now too. You can actually customize that as well in game too, so you can put a bunch of cosmetic vanity items as well. This game is crazy difficult. So at first, the first time I saw this game, it's like, oh, it's cute, you know, it's for like kids and things like that too. It is not. It is great for kids as well too. But man, this game is hard. This game is so difficult. So believe me on that. But if you want a good challenge, definitely check out Wind Up Night 2. It came out on the store. Oh my gosh, I forget when exactly now. Months ago now. But yeah, in case you guys missed it, Wind Up Night 2 available. Fantastic platformer. If you've never seen it before, if you've never played it before, highly recommend this game. Plus, the music and sound is really good in it too. It's just kind of like lighthearted and fun, and I like that a lot too. Sorry if I'm missing questions. There's a lot too. Yes, Shushan, as I said, it's not the game. It's just the video playing. I saw this earlier today too. I don't know why the videos are having such an issue playing today, but they are. It plays much cleaner on the actual system. Yeah. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next game then too, right? So next game you might have missed too that I wanted to go over, Edward Randy, the Cliffhanger, right? I can pull this one up as well too. Again, apologize for the video. It's probably going to play a little slow and choppy. It's just kind of how it is today. But yeah, so Edward Randy, the Cliffhanger, basically if you wanted like a spy game versus plus an Indiana Jones game all in one, this is Edward Randy. He's got a big old whip, and he is not afraid to use it all the time. This is also a 2-player game. It's a fantastic arcade game. If you want like really good music, really good action-adventure kind of game, this is it. As far as old-school arcade games go too. Endless quarters, of course, so you can just keep continuing on and on and on. If you die, because you'll probably die a few times. So definitely check out Edward Randy. This game is just so exciting, honestly. It's just with the soundtrack and everything like that too. It's just super exciting. It's hard to see your comments at the same time, but I'm trying here. Cliffhanger's great. That's right. Thank you, Third Fly Arcade. All right. So last but not least, my third game today for games you might have missed. It's going to be Jumpman Jr. So Jumpman Jr. is a Coleco classic, honestly. So if you owned a ColecoVision and you didn't own Jumpman Jr., I'd be sort of shocked, quite honestly. So Jumpman Jr. is a sort of rudimentary old school game, right? It's Coleco, so it's an older title for sure. You can pick different difficulties, so each one's gonna let you move a little bit faster, things like that too, or hinder you, make you slower too. And then there's more enemies, things like that too. So you do have different options as you choose in the game. Just like most ColecoVision games do, you're going to start up with a 1 through 8 kind of menu to pick from for your gameplay options. That's how they work back in the day. So yeah, so Jumpman Jr., fantastic old school title. If ColecoVision games are like your style and you've never seen this game, definitely pick it up 100%. Got my hopes up. I'm not sure what I got your hopes up for. Daphne version of Cliffhanger? No, I wish. All right. So that's it for games you might have missed. So again, that was Wind Up Night 2, Edward Randy the Cliffhanger, and any game with a name in it like that too is gotta be spectacular, right? And it is a spectacular game. And then Jumpman Jr., of course. And we'll post these for you guys throughout the week too, just in case you missed them even more. So we'll keep those coming. So that's Jumpman Jr. Let me go back to my handy dandy original showcase in here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go back to some more Q&A. It's kind of it for today, right? We got the games, we got the new releases, we got the old releases, we got more things to talk about. We got leaderboards posting. Question. Let's see. So it's Moose. Question: will you be able to search the game alphabetically to buy? There are a lot of games on iiRcade. Yes, coming soon, sort of. We're working on it. We're always working on ways to improve the store, of course, too. It is technically still in beta, even though it's been a while. So yes, we're always working to improve the store. I promise you that. This is like one of the things that's like top on our list too. This is not like getting put down anywhere right now too. Like a different functionality is coming to the store soon. So stay tuned on that. We'll get it to you for sure. I totally understand your place with the store. I hear them all the time. Don't you worry. Let's see. More leaderboards here. Let's see. So obviously, leaderboard picks up a high score even when you don't get them. Any idea eliminating the default scores? Yes, this is something we've sort of looked into. It's extremely difficult to adjust this on the back end as far as the old ROM games. We've tried, trust me. We're still looking into a solution for it for sure. But the good thing is that the scores aren't super high all the time. And even if they are, people are going to beat them. So they'll start to cycle them out too. We've already seen them cycle through already for like games like Double Dragon, of course, because people play it all the time. People are posting all the time. So those default scores will go away for sure over time. So we saw the bug and we decided to release with that it's only in a few games that do this right now. I think there's 6 total that do this actually out of the 54 that were posted up. Now 55 today with P47, right? So. But yeah, no, we're totally aware of that. It is an issue that we're looking into. But luckily enough, it does sort of fix itself, which is great too. And people just keep posting more scores and higher scores. So play some more, get some higher scores. You'll get past the default score. Let's see. Recommended like kit. Are you talking about the one that's like behind me right now, like this? No recommended one, but there's plenty of recommendations in the community group. I guarantee it. People do light mods a lot, especially with the speakers. So yeah, honestly, LED strip, that's all you need if you want to do that kind of thing too. Be careful you don't void your warranty. Don't break the machine too much. Yeah. Let's see. JWY, thank you. Appreciate it. Customer service team here. It's fantastic. I'm sure they're watching right now. So thanks, guys. Filtering we've talked about before too. Zhang talks about it a lot more than me too. So technically, everything's in its original state right now too. There's actually no filtering, from what I understand too, with any of the arcade games. The way they look is sort of how they're supposed to look, and then of course there's always going to be adjustments to that too. Can we add filtering? That's a feature that of course we've talked about and that we're looking into. Let me see here. Lots and lots of questions, which is great. I love Q&A. I like being able to answer your questions when I can. Adding a games you might have missed section in the store. It could be cool to tie that this Friday show. Yeah, so I'm actually going to start adding these games to the featured section on the store too. So they'll be right at the top of the page for games you might have missed. So they'll be there. I haven't gotten to it today. Right after the show, they'll be posted there though too. That's like number 1 on my list the moment the show ends. I'm going to be doing that. So yes, for the games you might have missed that I talked about on Fridays and we go through the week now, they will be posted in the featured games section now. So every week we'll cycle through them and we'll change them up. So if you want an easy way to grab them, we can do that. That'll work just fine for you, I believe. So great question, Brian. Thank you. Let me see. John, new to iiRcade. Welcome to family. When you download the ROMs, are they permanently on your machine even without Wi-Fi connection? Yes. So if you download the game to your machine and the Wi-Fi disconnects, the game's not going away. You don't need the connection to play the game. You will, however, need the connection, of course, to post to the global leaderboards if it is a global leaderboard game. Clearly, just because it has to send information to the server, that makes logical sense, right? But otherwise, no. Yeah, if the game is on your machine, if it disconnects, it's totally fine. You can keep playing the games no matter what, as long as it's not an online enabled game like a Bomb Squad game or something like that too, of course. You're good to go. And the games are always on your account too, keep in mind. So if you ever need room to uninstall, you can always uninstall the games and you can install them again anytime. So once you uninstall a game, it'll get sent right back to your library on the store. So all you have to do is go to the My Games section on the store and then go to Library. In that tab, that's where all your games are going to be. So if you ever want to remove them from the machine, totally feel fine to do that. It's a console, so you can always just download it, uninstall it, reinstall it whenever you want. Once you purchase it, it's yours. Let me see. All right. Let's go through some more questions right now. Q&A day. Okay. Mark, did you just post a huge... Mark, I'm not sure why you just posted an LED strip. I see. Do be careful minding machines. Don't void your warranty, because my customer service team won't be happy with you if we have to fix something that we're not allowed to. All right, more questions. Okay, it's extremely hard to scroll down this list. Let's see here. Sorry about that. I'm trying to catch up to the feed right now, too. Okay, I'll probably take 2 more questions, so let's get this out of the way right now. Let's do 2 more questions. Maybe call it an early day today. You could be potentially hearing... Are you hearing background noise on my machine? Am I in danger? I don't think so. Let's see here. That might fix it. We'll see. That might have been the other arcade machine that's plugged in here. All right, Mark. So won't void warranty if you're just sticking the LED strips in the cabinet. No, you won't void warranty that way. As long as you're not like immediately disturbing the electronics inside the cabinet, no, you're fine. So if you do want to put an LED strip in there like this, that's totally fine. If we carve out the wood, don't do that, because that's going to void your warranty if you carve into a piece of wood. Let's see. If in Europe, does the store work? No. Unfortunately, right now, currently, at least for the UK and European customers, we don't serve the UK and Europe currently, mostly due to licensing reasons, right? Our game licenses aren't necessarily worldwide for every single title. Some of them they are, sometimes they're not. So it's kind of hard to filter that right now, too. On top of that, shipping over there is a different beast entirely. You have to get different approvals and stuff like that for shipping directly to the UK and to Europe. So we're working on it. Of course, we would love to get machines in your hand. The game store as well, too, requires you to be in the US, Canada, or Korea in order to set up an account to begin with. So yes, you cannot purchase games from the store, download them to your machines and things like that, too. So unfortunately, not yet. But we are 100% looking into that. So stay tuned. Of course, we would love for everybody around the world to be able to get iiRcade machines, right? So we're working on it. Let's see here. Question. Any hints on next video game to be released? Funny you should say that, Moose. So today's title is what? Spooky Adventures, right? So, I mean, again, P47 Aces is a pretty spooky adventure. I can tell you that too. It's bright and colorful, but spooky at the same time. So, but something cool that I really wanted to show everybody today too is something coming up right about now, whenever I can actually find a thing. So, you guys want more games, right? I assume you want more games. Yeah? Yes. Okay, cool. All right. So, without further ado, here you go, Moose.
Oh my goodness, what is this? All I see is rotten flesh. Who is there to save us now? It's the skeleton. Catacombs and mysterious places. I can flash your enemy and wear their faces.
Wait a sec, that's super gross.
Why not wear a dress instead?
Alright, guilty price to pay.
Please! Necromancer fell in love. The princess couldn't follow. So he summoned all of them to dance for a drum show. Can you feel the tension? Grab a weapon, kick somebody's head off. submarine emerging from the ocean. So there's the solid life, sea star motion. Random generated lore, full of news and tour. Conquer new environments, fight with new amazing tools.
Man, this game got really hard. Can someone help me out here?
Yes, I can, I'll lend a hand. Your friends enjoy the action, common satisfaction. Grab two weapons, kick my butts and sing.
Again!
Moving on to other stuff, fresh and brand new story. The timeline has been meddled with. The volume up your super sorry. Dual kingdoms been destroyed by the undead hero. No one there to save them all. Populations less than zero. Be the hero once again in this nightmarish kingdom.
One more thing we want to add. Ahora también puedo hablar español.
All of this awaits in
Señor!
Dum 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 dum.
Welcome back. So that is Boy Refractured coming to the iiRcade September 3rd. It's right next Friday. So not today. So hold on to your butts. But next Friday, of course, this game will release. So Boy Refractured is a fantastic, you can say Paper Mario like if you want to, I guess too, but not really. So Boy Refractured is a full-length RPG. It's amazing. It's right there behind me. If you guys see that. So this game is amazing too. We've been having a great time QA playing it and things like that. Of course, this is a full-length title. Yes, that's a whole week, Mark. That's right. It is a whole week away. You'll have to wait. Again, you'll just have to wait. But yeah, prepare yourselves for it. So it is a full-length RPG, and on top of that, the Refractured mode, on top of the regular Boy game, is adding a brand new adventure for you too. So once you beat the game, there's a whole new game plus now too, which is packed full of stuff, like tons and tons of features. And they added a roguelike dungeon inside of it too, which is the submarine, which you saw in the video as well too. There's 2-player co-op, so in case you want a couch co-op game too, there it is. It's local multiplayer. So friends, family, whoever you want to play with, your buddies, call them on over. You can work together. If not, you can also play it solo, totally fine. So what's great about this game is that, one, besides the comedic value, which is everywhere within the game too, tons of meme potential. 2 games in one, yeah, basically 3 games in one. Yes, Mark, that's right. But yeah, so the main focus of it is an RPG game, which is cool. But the main focus is that you get to switch around your body parts, right? So you're going to have different things. You're going to have, 1, a head, 2, your torso, and then you're going to have your arms as well as your feet. So you get little booties and things like that too to put on, and they all have different abilities. So each slot has a ton of different pickups that you can get for it. Basically, you can mix and match too. So some of them increase your health, some of them add like shielding, some of them let you fly, some of them let you jump, some of them let you use magical abilities, some of them let you sneak past zombies, some of them let you eat things. There's so much stuff going on in this game. It's ridiculous. And the amount of combinations that you can get with the different outfits is incredibly huge. On top of that, you do have a hat slot. So those of you who like cosmetics, get your top hat. There's tons of other things in the game, but I highly suggest just always wearing a top hat. So yes, so this is coming next Friday. Questions. We can actually show it off a little bit. Let me actually pull up my screen here, add you back to stream. I'll turn it down a little bit. Oh, it's actually down pretty good. But yes, so here you go. This is Boy right here on my screen. I'll actually flip-flop me. 1 second. There we go. So you can see it's a little harder to see on my screen right now too, but this is Boy running it. I did start a save slot already to show you guys a little bit. So this is the very beginning of the game, basically. So I skipped past all the cutscenes and things like that too. So there are fantastic cutscenes and stuff too that you start out with. You can see right behind me here. So that thing behind me that I'm looking at, that's a grave, that's a checkpoint. So these are going to be like your save points in the game. So anytime you die, that's where you're going to go. This is, again, the very base level of the game right now too. So I've even got to pick up my first feat. So you can see collect stuff, interact with B. Cool. So I picked it up. Cool. So now I've got bony feet. So now I can go and actually jump. So this actually auto-equipped it. So my feet just got equipped, basically, is what that is. But your foot slot is very important. So now that I got my feet, I can actually go over here. Of course, I got to get on stage because I'm a diva and I like to be on stage. There we go. And now, got a cardboard sword, right? So everybody wants a cardboard sword, the ultimate weapon. Every kid knows that, of course. Oh, so the zombies have spawned. So basically, you're going to slash with C. Go up here with the zombies, fight the zombies, break them apart. So of course, the top of the box over. Let's see. So signs you can read, little things. So this game is fantastically hilarious, by the way. Let me go up here a little bit. Whoops, I did not mean to break you open. There we go. So P1 start does open the menu, as you can see here. So this is going to be, you get 2 weapon slots. And then right now I've got my torso, I've got my feet, I've got my head. And this is actually going to be a hat slot. So that's more of the cosmetic slot, right? And again, your head, your chest, your torso, and your feet are going to be like your main slots. And they're going to have so many different combinations of different body parts that you can wear. It's incredible how much stuff is in this game. You get a little storage area for them too. So you get like little racks that you can hang everything on as well too. So those are all there. Sorry, I have missed the chat because I'm too excited playing Scoutboy right now. Only we gotta say with the pennies, that's right. But it has to be cardboard sword +1, that's right. Correct. All right, so let's go. And in case you didn't notice here, down here in my menu, multiplayer right there, right? So if I go to multiplayer, I can actually add a second player right now too if I scroll down here and add them right there. So now that would add a second player into the game. I'm not gonna do that right now too because clearly it's just me. So let's go over the bridge a little bit. But yeah, I just want to show everybody a little bit of gameplay with Scoutboy. So it does have a ton of complexity, as you guys saw from the video too, right? There's a ton of things going on in this game. Yes, I know I've checked on my equipment. It wants me to equip it again. There we go. Different story elements, different environmental effects going on all the time too. There's, you start off in like a castle farm area too. There's of course like molten lava sections. There's a frozen section. There's a whole mirror lake. There's tons and tons of areas in this game too. A big map, which you'll get later on too. All right, so the guards are going in because of course right now we're being invaded by zombies in the kingdom. So you have to save the kingdom and run through the birds all the time like me. So I believe one of these zombies is actually going to give me a head. There it is. So I've now picked up a zombie head, and I can equip with X to use my ability. So if you see that, that lets me actually blend in with the zombies so they no longer think that I'm a threat because I'm wearing one of their heads. So the logic checks out. But yes, this is Scoutboy. Let me just go back to the main menu for you. There we go. So yeah, you get multiple save slots and everything, of course, too. It is a full-length RPG. This is a great game. Fantastic title. Highly, highly recommend picking it up next week when it's available to you. I can even go back to this. Tons of other features in the game, too. Here's your buttons, in case you want to see that, too. So it is sort of complex layout, I guess, but not really. So six buttons for a player, plus the start button, of course, too. Jump, interact, attack. Use your head ability if it has an ability, and then swap and swap is going to be cycling through your weapons. So that's how that works out. Cool. Questions, comments, concerns? So let's go back for a little bit more Q&A. So you can ask me anything about Scoutboy you want. I'm here. I'm here for it. Cuteness overload. You will love it, of course. Yes, this is a kid-friendly game, even though it's meant for adults for sure. Like it's challenging. So yeah, but yeah, it's totally a kid-friendly game, rated E. So if your kids want to play it, I highly recommend. Again, can you change the button layout? You cannot change the button layout in this game. The developers didn't put that feature in for decent reasons. It's an RPG. You really don't need to though. You're gonna get the hang of it so fast because it's mostly just ABC. And then X is going to be your ability for your head, right? But you don't use it as often. So, and swapping between the weapons is, again, you're not going to use it that often. So pretty much just going to be A, B, and C for the most part. Let me see here. More questions. Do we get Sharp Pixels retro games? We just talked about that earlier. Sharp Pixels is a filter itself. Let me see. Which other questions did I miss while I was talking about Scaleboy 2? Price. I believe $19.99 makes sense. That's what it's going for on all platforms right now too. On top of that, on our platform, you get some fun gameplay. It's very different in arcade feel, and it's very different with our speakers too, which is fantastic too. The immersion is a little bit different, and the gameplay is just a little bit different as well too, with the joystick and the buttons versus a normal controller or keyboard. Price. Ask for the price. Yes, we just talked about the price. Have you been watching Gamescom? Yes, I have, and the answer is yes. There's plenty of indie titles that catch my eye literally probably every hour of the day. All right, more questions. We got time for maybe 4 or 5 more questions, I would say, too. This game just released in 2021. Yes, it did. The Refractured version specifically did. So Refractured came out on PC and Switch, as well as now iiRcade in 2021. So Refractured mode does, again, the base level version of Skullboy. Doesn't include things like co-op. I'm trying to think what else. Spanish language, which is good. If anybody's wanting to play in Spanish, that's there. Language options on top of that. Refractured mode in general, which is the New Game Plus, and the Submarine, which is the Endless Dungeon. So those are all in Refractured mode, which is the version that we have. So you're going to get everything out the box, right? It has all the extra features, all the co-op and everything that you could ever want, basically. Release date January 13th. Yes, correct. I have no idea. Chef, I see your question. No, I have no idea. Request a Russian mode. Are you sure there's not a Russian mode in the game? I don't know. Is Rastan today, please? Zhang, if you're watching, we want to release Rastan today, is all I'm saying. If I could release Rastan today to you, I would. Okay? That's I promise you I would. I'm not holding back. That's one of my favorite titles. Especially Rastan 3, because that game is ridiculous and nobody else has it, which is insane. All right, questions. Going down the list. Any other questions you got for today's games? We've got that, of course. Bam, hide, things like that, too. I keep misclicking things all the time, of course. But yes, so Skullboy Refractured coming to iiRcade on Friday. Not today, Friday, but the following Friday, right? So stay tuned for that. On top of that, keep in mind more games coming from Taito down the line, too. Arabian Magic, New Zealand Story, Ninja Kids, Legend of Kage, and Thunder Fox. More games getting added with global leaderboards. What's the release date for the iiRcade handheld? I don't know, Tim. You tell me. I'll let you decide the release date on that one. There is no minicade coming for iiRcade as far as I know. Maybe. Do you really want one? Is that a real question? Just so what you need to do is actually take the bar top and just put some straps on it, like a backpack straps, but like a baby VR kind of, so you can play it in front. And then all you need is like a generator that you carry too on your back, so you plug it into that and you just play on the go. That's your iiRcade handheld for you. The back held, I guess, too. Just an iiRcade backpack. They do exist, actually. Games are getting global leaderboards next. That's an interesting question. So hard to say off the top of my head, but there are more coming. And of course, games that are getting released tend to have them now, sort of. So just like how P47 Ace is released today with global leaderboards enabled to, we're sort of working on that more often too, to release the games with the global leaderboards as they come. So if we can do that, totally what we're going to do. And then, there's issues with global leaderboards sometimes in old school games especially. So yeah, we're trying, we're working on it. It's coming. There's always going to be more and more and more too. And as we get more titles too that we can enable global leaderboards on, it's going to be fantastic. Mini key, man. Okay, good. Yes. I wish that we could bring the whole title library over immediately, but stay tuned. We're always adding more titles to the list, of course, too. We're an ever-growing library. Promise that it's never going to stop growing. So marching band of iiRcade is what I'm looking for. I hope to see a picture of that very, very soon. Hopefully next Friday, maybe Friday. I'll give you guys Skellboy next Friday if you give me marching band pictures with iiRcade. That's what I want to see. So specific games, I can't promise you if they're coming or not to iiRcade. I don't know necessarily half the time too. Sometimes I know and just can't tell you. But most of the time it's just that we don't really know yet. We're in contact with developers every single day. We have a whole team for that. It's our jobs. So we're always getting more licenses. We're always pushing into licenses too. Some just take longer. Some just take a little bit of time to get. Any other questions? I got time for like maybe 2 more questions before I got to go. And then put your games on the new releases section. Or not new releases section, but the recent section as well as the featured game section. There we go. My brain works sometimes. Lemmings was an addictive game. I agree. All right, questions going down the list. Any more questions as far as games go? Games, company, me, Skellboy especially. So now is your time to try before you buy. Though, of course, you've always got a demo period, remember, for half an hour. The moment you purchase the game, you got half an hour before you can either keep it or refund it. Remember that too. So that's sort of the demo policy. So you do have a half an hour to try every single game. When is the next party? I don't know. What was the title of Rastan 3? It's actually Warrior Blade Rastan Saga Episode 3 is the full title. So that's Warrior Blade Rastan Saga Episode 3. Why do I know that? Because I've written it out so many times. So yeah, Warrior Blade is what you're looking for. But it is, Rastan Saga Episode 3 will come up for Rastan Saga. Coming out to say besides the 2? Nope, because I'm giving you Skellboy very, very soon. That's why. So I got to get Skellboy ready for everybody. And that's the current situation. Plus, on top of that, we got more title games. We've been kind of on a big roll with releases and announcements and stuff, so we kind of got to calm it down a little bit sometimes, too. I can't just get you guys like that all the time. Got to keep you hungry. An iiRcade machine played Killer Instinct. I don't see why not. When does the Skellboy cabinet get released? If you buy a black edition, I'm not saying that you should make Skellboy decals, but you can. That's all I'm saying. You can always attach new decals to the black edition if you get a black edition. So build your own. Umakai Studios, didn't hear me say that. Let's see. Going down the list. What else do we have here? All right, I got time. One more big question here. What's this solid question? Throw them out now. Roll the dice and see if I answer it. Oh, you guys are actually kind of quiet today, surprisingly enough. Still scrolling through this list, though. All right. Well, I'll keep it there, actually. Will the leaderboards be visible on the website? Actually, that's an interesting question, too. Maybe. So yeah, clearly we're looking into this because we would love to just be able to display all the games and stuff like that too in a nice fashion on the website. So yes, the answer is we're looking into that. When it might happen, I couldn't tell you that for sure. Again, it's sort of a bonus feature right now too, especially since you can view them on the machines for the games right now. And that's sort of a relatively new feature as well. So we're still working on that, like on the back end side as well too. But we definitely, I would say, we're planning to do that. When will it be a feature on the website? I can't really say. Probably before the end of the year. It's probably a good guess. But beyond that, I don't know. Because remember, we're actually in almost the fourth quarter now. We're in the third quarter. We're almost in the fourth quarter now, though. So before the end of the year is not too far away. I promise you that. Okay, let's see. Add-on component. I always get asked about add-on components. Stay tuned, of course. Anything's possible. Maybe. Again, we're looking into things like that, of course. If we can do additional features and things like that, we would love to do it. There's nothing that we're trying to hold back from you two, right? iiRcade Glass. Actually, good question because I feel like I haven't been asked that in a while. Yeah, no, they're still on pre-order currently. Next shipment, I'm not quite sure when it's totally going to be, but it's going to be a little bit of a wait, unfortunately, too. It sold out way faster than we predicted. We thought that we'd have a lot more in stock after our original shipment, but the answer is we sold out too fast. So we are getting more, of course, too, or else we would take it off pre-order. So, but yes, so iiRcade Glass still on pre-order currently too. When you're going to receive it, maybe 7 weeks, maybe. Don't quote me on that entirely, but that's probably about right. So we'll see. It depends on manufacturing. We got to actually make them, then we got to get them shipped, right? And we got to get them shipped safely is the other thing too, right? These are pieces of glass. They're tempered glass, so they break kind of easily, sort of at least. You can kind of huck them against walls sometimes, but if they get pinged on the wrong side, they kind of shatter. They don't really break too often with like small cracks. They usually kind of just shatter with tempered glass. So we got to protect them during the shipping process. So, it takes a little bit of effort to not just manufacture them, but to package them, right? To package them, and then we have to wait on the shipping, right? So it just takes some time, but yeah, iiRcade Glass is still on pre-order for the time being. Please be patient. I'm sorry. We're trying to get it there as quickly as possible, though. And then on that note, end of questions. End of questions for today. I'll cut it off right there. Save your questions for next week. Tune in next Friday for another Gamedaze Live. Of course, tune in on Tuesdays with Jean for iiRcade Live. And of course, Thursdays, iiRcade Leagues. Play some more games, of course. New games available today. P47 Aces, which includes global leaderboards too. So Gunther, if you're watching, of course, you can use that for leagues. Do it. Especially since it's the sequel to Phantom Fighters, which is an amazing game. And then other games released today too. Bang Bang Busters, of course, too, in case you're looking for evil Santas, as Dylan likes to say. And then more games coming soon. Keep an eye out for Skellboy, of course, Skellboy Refractured next week, available then. So if you're looking for a fantastic full-length RPG, it's going to be such a solid game. Trust me on that one. I've played it a bunch myself too, but QA can tell you that here, that they've played through it so many times now. I'm sure they're sick of it, but it's a phenomenal title. They're not super sick of it yet. So that's saying a lot, actually, for how many times they've played through it. So it's a great game coming next week. And then, of course, the sale is ending. Keep in mind, too, next week, right? So next week is Labor Day already, too? Or 2 weeks? Gosh, I think next week is already Labor Day, right? I can't even get my dates right. So back to school sale ends on Labor Day. If you're looking to pick up a cabinet, do it now. Literally do it now, or do it this weekend for sure. And if anybody you know is on the line too, let them know the sale is ending on Labor Day. This is it. So I don't know when it's going to go back on sale. I could not tell you. So if you want $100 off the cabinet plus free shipping in the contiguous states for US at least, do it now. Our Canadian friends, we are working still so hard to get you more cabs and more discounts on the shipping because we know it's expensive. But yeah, so take advantage of the sale now. So because I don't know. Maybe there'll be one for the holidays. Maybe there won't be. I have no idea. Do you think I think that far ahead? Come on. No. But seriously, do take advantage if you do want that $100 off. And then that's pretty much it. I will see everybody next week. Happy Friday. Play some games. Pick up some new titles if you haven't yet too. Get ready for Skellboy next week as well. But yeah, I will play you guys out with, of course, my new favorite video, which is basically the theme song for Skellboy, which is my favorite song. All right. See you guys.
Oh my goodness, what is this? All I see is rotten flesh. Who is there to save us now? It's the skeleton. Catacomb and mysterious places. I can flash your enemies and wear their faces.
Wait a sec, that's super gross.
Why not wear a dress instead?
Alright, guilty I to pay.
Please! Necromancer fell in love. The princess couldn't kill him. So he summoned all of them to dance for a transition. Can you feel the tension? Grab a weapon, kick somebody's head. ancient submarine emerging from the ocean. So there's a solid pipe, seas slow motion. Random generated noise, full of news and jewels. Conquer new environments, fight with new amazing tools.
Man, this game got really hard. Can someone help me out here?
Yes, I can, I'll lend a hand. Your friend can join the action. Gonna satisfaction. Grab two weapons, kick my butts and sing.
Again!
Moving on to other stuff, a fresh and brand new story. The timeline has been meddled with. Swallow my feel super sorry. New world kingdoms been destroyed by the undead hero. No one there to save them all. Populations less than zero. Be the hero once again. This nightmarish kingdom.
One more thing we want to add.
Ahora también puedo hablar español.
All of this awaits in Skelly.
Señor.
Dum, da, da, dum, dum.